Hey everybody, welcome to this week's blog and video. I receive several messages, texts, and calls telling me how these blogs and videos are impacting and helping others. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for listening, reading, and following Kyle Hoffman LLC. You know, every time I write a blog, I read it out loud to my wife. And many times while I'm reading it to her, I get emotional. In fact, sometimes I have to read it to her several times just so I can get to the point where I can do the video without getting overly emotional. You know, it's kind of like the scar on my arm. The scar remains, but the emotion and the story behind it are still very real. Years ago, I was on my face in the carpet praying and crying out to God. And suddenly, I was 5 years old and I was in the emergency room with my mother and a nurse. For about 45 minutes earlier, what had happened was I was playing in a creek in my grandparents' yard. It was really a ditch, but when you're 5 years old, it's a creek. I had fallen and I cut my hand, and I ran to my mom and she wrapped it up and took me to the emergency room. So the nurse is unwrapping the wound, and as she asked me how I did it, and I told her. And I remember she got the bandage off and said, "That's a nasty cut, Kyle." And as she was walking away, she said, "We're going to have to clean it." And she grabbed some green stuff and the gauze, and she poured the green stuff on the gauze and started to dab it and then started to rub it. And as she was doing this, she said, "I know this hurts, Kyle, but it's very important that we clean this, because if we don't, it could get infected. And if it gets infected, it's going to hurt a lot worse." Back in my room with my face on the carpet, I clearly heard God say in my mind, "Kyle, you have many wounds which have become infected. They're going to need some scrubbing. It's going to hurt. You're going to have to deal with it in order for you to be healthy and whole." All of us are born, and then we are wounded, affected, infected by people of this world, sometimes over the period of years and years. The longer these wounds go without cleaning, the more infected they become, the more they hurt with or without cleaning. What used to be open wounds are now scars with a story behind each and every one of them. What about you? Do you have open wounds? Have they become infected? Consider letting God and the right people help you clean and scrub them. Do what you need to do to turn those open wounds into beautiful scars, and then share your story. God bless you.